Hi. So I, 25F, am currently being pushed back and forth with my choice, and I thought the lovely people of Reddit might be able to rein me in. I am currently 13 weeks pregnant and my friends around me have all been very happy and excited for me. However, my childhood friend 25F, let's call her Lisa, stonewalled me since I announced at 8 weeks. I had assumed it was wedding stress, but now I'm seconding guessing this. In the weekend, I was scrolling Instagram and I came across a post where she had thanked everyone for coming to her bachelorette. Photos of it's the girls and her smiling in the middle, and I sorta sat there shocked. At first I tried to be mature and just let it go. But this was a girl I grew up with. She was a bridesmaid in my wedding party, and I'm an honorary bridesmaid for hers. She's not having a wedding party. In the end, I guess hormones took over and I ended up reaching out to her. At first I went, "Oh, looks like fun." And she replied that it was, and after a tub of ice cream and a good sob, I reached out and went, "Hey, sorry to be this person, but why wasn't I invited?" She immediately messaged me back with the response. TBF, the whole day was centered around drinking, wineries, and heading to town after. And I'm not sure you would have enjoyed being around all of us drunk AF, especially cause you're pregnant right now. I get that an invite would have been nice regardless, but in all honesty, I just wanted to keep it very small. I'm really sorry you feel that way, but I don't want to make this a big thing. BC, I've already had a shit week. I tried to respond with, "Hey, thanks for getting back to me, but I'm still upset cause the day is about you, and I wanted to be there to celebrate you." And then she rung me and just asked me to not make this a big thing once again, and she sounded incredibly annoyed, and like the doormat I dropped it. After thinking this over for the past few days, I'm feeling very hurt and heartbroken. This was a girl I grew up with and loved and supported through a lot of shit. I've helped her plan and prepare a lot of her wedding, so to suddenly get iced out like this, I'm feeling a certain way. My husband suggests we don't go and I'm on the edge. So Reddit whipped if I declined going to her wedding and distancing myself? Ada has no consensus spot. OP was NTA with a few white EAs and ESHs. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. I suppose whether you go or not depends on whether you enjoy weddings, and whether you think you will enjoy being in the company of all those friends who went on the bachelorette party and never uttered a word about it to you. OP. The issue is I'm considered one of her old friends. We grew up in a small town and moved to same city. We both took different paths in life, both in jobs and social circles, but I had always been invited to birthdays and events. And while I might not be friends with her B group of friends, they definitely know of me. But you make a good point, and something to consider. Commenter 2, NTA. Her saying, "Don't make this a big thing," would piss me off. If you guys are close, then she 100% should have at least invited you. The whole "it's my wedding and I can invite and do what I want" is true. However, that doesn't mean you have no consequences for your decisions. To me, she doesn't consider you as good of a friend as you may think. Commenter 3, I'm an honorary bridesmaid for hers. She's not having a wedding party. What the heck is this? Is it a new fad I haven't heard of, or a way to get more partying and gifts from your friends without having them in the wedding? In any case, WNBTA for ghosting her wedding. She deliberately did something that she knew would hurt your feelings and told you not to make a big thing out of it. Update number 1. Hi. Hope this is allowed, but you were all so wonderful and helpful, and turns out I got an update sooner than I expected. So I haven't heard from Lisa that I expected. What I didn't expect is a friend of Lisa to get in touch with me. Let's call her Sarah. I knew of Sarah and spoke to her a few times at events we attended together, and she was one of the girls with myself went wedding dress shopping for Lisa. She was also a friend I noticed wasn't at the Bachelorette, which was a surprise anyway, and at first she was doing a, "Hey, how are you?" And we did polite small talk blah blah until she finally went, "So are you as pissed off and mad as I am at Lisa, OP?" Immediately I was slightly shocked, as the few times I had met Sarah she was very, I guess, demure. That opened the floodgates of information and she told me everything she knows. So what I didn't put in the post is I actually waited 2 days before messaging Lisa about the lack of invite. Turns out 3 of Lisa's friends who also weren't invited hit her up immediately after she posted on Instagram asking why they weren't invited. Turns out these girls absolutely chewed Lisa alive, and my confrontational was soft, and finally it was revealed what actually happened, and now I'm even more confused. So Lisa admitted to Sarah that her sister-in-law planned the Bachelorette and just decided she was only going to invite the friends she knew. So Lisa's usual group of 8, 10 friends including me got narrowed down into 4, and Lisa decided not to correct her sister-in-law and just went with it, not realizing how many people she would be upsetting with not inviting people. Apparently, once people started attacking her, Lisa buried her head in sand and started making up lies to everyone on why they weren't invited, and using the same excuse of, "Don't make this a big deal," until everyone realized the reasons were bullshit and called her out for it, and the real truth came out. Sarah has informed me the girls who weren't invited have all pulled out of the wedding, their partners included, because they got the same annoyed response from Lisa before she told the truth, and they all thought they didn't deserve that. Then she finally asked me what Lisa told me and I went deathly quiet on the phone before finally admitting she used my pregnancy as an excuse, which then started poor Sarah on another rant of anger on how Lisa could say that to me when I'm pregnant. Anyway, we ended the call and she hoped we could get coffee sometime, so I think I've made a friend? So, that's the update. This pregnant lady is very confused. And I'm currently the #1 buyer of ice cream at my local dairy LOL. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. NTA, she made it very clear that you and the group are not her friendship priority anymore. Perhaps her new SIL and her gang will be there to replace you guys. At least that is what she is making it seems. Are her in-laws paying for the majority of the wedding? Is she one of those pleasers that play along with the most annoying person so she can feel part of the group? You know she is in deep trouble, right? Her SIL must be some sort of single B-each that likes to impose over others' desire. But the way, congrats on the baby. 13 weeks so? OP. Exactly 13 weeks and 5 days. And frankly, I don't know what to make of the in-laws. I know for a fact she's, Lisa, paying for most of the wedding. I will be honest, I don't particularly like her fiancé, although I've never outright told her, just relayed my concerns. One of the reasons they actually have no bridal party was because the groom demanded 5. He had 5 guy friends he was close to, and while Lisa has multiple friends, they all work in fields where not everyone has time to take out for events. Therefore, a lot of them turned her down. I think I was one of 3 who said yes. In the end, I know it turned into a massive argument between the two, and the groom finally stomped his feet and said no wedding party then. And so Lisa went around giving out the honorary title and asked certain people to wear a certain color. It's all rather sad, actually. And then the groom asked her to make his SIL MOH, cause she means a lot to him. A lot of red flags, but she's also the kind of person where it for a second you negatively comment on her relationship, she cuts you off, so I've always just been supportive in the background. Lisa should not have lied to OP and other friends for not inviting them to the bachelorette party. OP. I think that's why I'm now confused and I've gone from, yeah, I'm not going, to, aw shit. Because I can see both sides. Lisa was an idiot for not reaching out to everyone before posting on Instagram about the situation, and is probably stressed out of her mind right now. It's kinda why I'm glad once I got the annoyed phone call from her, I just dropped it and went inwards where it sounds like the other girls went, nah, fuck that. So I'm very much on the fence right now, and am sorta waiting to see if I hear from Lisa. If I'll ever get the truth like what Sarah did, or if she's willing to let me believe I didn't get invited, cause the lemon-sized fetus in my womb is a buzz killer. Update number 2. Guys, I want off this train rolling on the floor laughing. So minor and small update. So as mentioned in my previous post, Lisa and I are childhood friends, and our mothers are friends. I finally shared what had happened with my mom, and first mom was so upset for me, but also gave me an, I told you so OP, you are too much of a doormat, thanks mom. But she then said I have a big heart, and sometimes people tend to use and abuse it. Once again, thanks mom. Anyway, mom then gave more tea. More gossip, so apparently while Lisa has been telling people that she's paying for her wedding out of her own pocket, turns out a big fat lie. Lisa's mother had been sending her money, and from what my mother told me, it was a decent chunk of change. How do we know this? Well, Lisa's mom went to my mom upset because one thing I forgot to notice is Lisa's mom wasn't invited to the bachelorette party. Context for people outside NZ, we don't have bridal parties, so usually what people do is the older generation gets invited to like dinner, and then the younger girls go out and party if you have a piss up. If you don't have a piss up and just do a more chilled bachelorette, then mom will be there the whole time, like mine. So Lisa's mother was distraught because she had been sending Lisa a decent amount of cash, had been told she wasn't allowed to give her opinion about anything to do with the wedding, and then wasn't invited to her bachelorette. And Lisa's mother is honestly a nice lady, so to hear that it kinda broke my heart, and if I had known Lisa's mother was sending money, I would have told Lisa to pull her head in. My mom then had to break the news about why I wasn't invited to the bachelorette, and Lisa's poor mother was mortified. So that's the update. Is it even an update? I don't know. I'm just very sad at this point because I don't know where my friend is gone, if she's there anymore. Is this a Bridezilla moment? I don't know. My ice cream journey though. I read everyone people have been loving this pregnancy lady's carving, so allow me to indulge. Recently I tried the Ben & Jerry's Banafee flavor and it was very good. I wish the caramel swirl was mixed throughout all the ice cream, but beggars can't be choosers. And I had the most amazing strawberry sorbet the other day. Honestly so good I almost asked the ice cream shop for a tub of it, but I had self-control. Additional information from OP. OP. I would like to acknowledge quickly in the comments that just because my friend's mom was sending her money doesn't make her mom entitled to change things about the wedding. But looking back on conversations I have had with Lisa, I know for a fact her poor mom got absolutely stonewalled when it came to offering suggestions. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. You know, I'm not sure I believe this story about how Lisa's SIL set the guest list. I think that might be a lie Lisa was telling to Sarah to try to excuse her actions. If that's the case, Lisa totally threw her SIL under the bus. Which, does SIL know that she's being partly blamed for this? Kinda wonder if Lisa's mother would appreciate knowing that maybe she wasn't included because Lisa's SIL made all the decisions. OP. I'm starting to realize that is most definitely the case. SIL has been thrown under the bus cause Lisa is realizing that people don't take too kindly to being disrespected. As for Lisa's mom knowing about Lisa's excuse, I don't know. I'll talk to my mom and see what she thinks. For now, I don't want to overload the poor woman cause it's a lot. OP explains what a piss up is. OP. It's Kiwi slang for like a party where you would drink a lot of booze. Update number 3. So, after the whole ordeal with Sarah and my mom's tea party of epic proportions, I decided to take a step back and just let things simmer. Or at least, that's what I planned to do. But apparently, life had other ideas. Yesterday, I'm on my 3rd ice cream pint, cookies and cream, highly recommend, when my phone explodes with messages. Turns out, Lisa's wedding is in full meltdown mode. Sarah, the unofficial bearer of bad news at this point, gave me a heads up. Apparently, a couple of people who were invited to the Bachelorette started pulling out of the wedding too. Why? Because word had spread about Lisa's truth getting out. The whole SIL planned everything excuse got back to SIL herself, and now she's furious. Honestly, I didn't even think SIL was aware she was being used as the scapegoat, but apparently, someone let that cat out of the bag. SIL reportedly confronted Lisa, and, well, let's just say the family drama is piping hot. According to Sarah, Lisa's fiancé, whom, let's remember, I'm not a huge fan of, decided to step in and resolve things, which is code for making everything worse. He apparently told SIL to just let it go because, in his words, it's Lisa's day, not yours. Yeah, you can imagine how that went over. The SIL, feeling more disrespected than ever, has now threatened to pull out of the wedding entirely, and since she's the fiancé's sister, you can bet that's causing a massive family divide. To make things even juicier, Lisa's mom, sweet Lisa's mom, found out about the SIL drama and the money thing and has gone completely nuclear. She called Lisa out for being ungrateful and manipulative, and has reportedly said she's considering taking her financial contributions back if things don't get sorted soon. Yeah, you read that right. The woman might actually take her money back. So, now Lisa is in a full-on panic. And you guessed it, she called me. I wasn't ready for it, but there she was, voice shaky, trying to smooth things over. She started with the obligatory, "Hey, can we talk?" which quickly turned into a tearful rant about how everything is falling apart, and no one understands the pressure she's under. She did apologize for the Bachelorette snub, which would have been nice if it hadn't been followed by, "I didn't mean to hurt you, but honestly, I thought you'd understand. You know how hard it's been with the pregnancy and all." Yeah, she went there again. The pregnancy excuse. At that point, I couldn't hold back. I told her that I was hurt not because I wasn't invited to a wine-fueled party, trust me, my liver is grateful, but because she lied. Not just to me, but to everyone. I reminded her that she could have just been honest from the start, and none of this drama would have happened. And then, because clearly, I'm an emotional train wreck, I threw in something about how her fiancé gives off major red flag energy, probably a mistake. But hey, it's out there now. She went dead silent on the other end, like, for a solid 10 seconds. Then, in a voice colder than ice cream, she said, "I'm sorry you feel that way," and hung up. So yeah, now I'm pretty sure I'm off the wedding guest list. And honestly, I don't even know how I feel about it. Part of me is relieved because this whole wedding has turned into a dumpster fire of drama, but part of me is sad because this was my childhood friend. We've been through so much together, and now it feels like we're standing on opposite sides of a battlefield. I guess that's the update for now. I'm still processing everything, and who knows what's going to happen next. Maybe Lisa will pull it together. Maybe the wedding will fall apart completely, or maybe I'll just buy another tub of Ben and Jerry's and call it a day. At this point, anything could happen. Update 4. After my last post, things went suspiciously quiet on Lisa's end. No calls, no texts, no random, "How's the baby?" messages that felt more like guilt offerings. Honestly, I was starting to think maybe she'd written me off for good, and I was almost okay with it. But then, the universe decided I hadn't had enough chaos in my life yet. Last Friday, I get a message from an unknown number. It's a long text, and for a second, I thought it was one of those scam messages. Nope, it was Lisa's fiancé. We'll call him Brad, because, well, that just fits. Brad basically tells me that Lisa's been devastated ever since our last conversation. I'm rolling my eyes at this point. and he wanted to clear the air before the wedding, which, by the way, was happening in 3 days. I know. Why wait until the last minute? But Brad has never been known for his strategic thinking. He goes on to explain that Lisa's been under so much stress and that, in his words, she's not thinking clearly right now. Translation: Lisa is losing it, and he's trying to put out fires. Then came the kicker. Brad tells me that Lisa wants to personally apologize, but feels too embarrassed to do it herself. He's asking me to come to the wedding as a gesture of forgiveness and to show that everything is fine between us. You know, for appearances. Yeah, they wanted me to be some kind of prop to make it look like the massive friend fallout didn't actually happen. Cue me laughing so hard, I almost dropped my ice cream. I replied with the most diplomatic "no" I could muster, explaining that while I appreciate the sentiment, I wouldn't feel comfortable attending the wedding under these circumstances. He sent back a short "I understand" and left it at that. Now, I thought that was the end. Surely that was it, right? Wrong. Fast forward to the day of the wedding. I'm sitting at home, binge-watching Netflix and debating whether to order pizza when my phone starts blowing up. It's Sarah, frantic, typing in all caps. Apparently, the wedding has gone full-on nuclear. Here's what went down. The ceremony was supposed to start at 3 p.m. Everything was decorated, guests were seated, and Lisa was in her dress, ready to walk down the aisle. But instead of heading out to meet Brad at the altar, she locked herself in the bridal suite with her mom and refused to come out. Why, you ask? Because Brad's sister, the infamous SIL, decided to confront Lisa at the wedding about all the lies and drama surrounding the bachelorette party. Yeah, that's right. The SIL, who was apparently still furious about being blamed for the guest list fiasco, chose that moment to air all her grievances. According to Sarah, who was texting me live updates like it was the Super Bowl, Lisa's mom tried to mediate, but Lisa was hysterical, crying, yelling, the whole 9 yards. Guests were starting to get restless, and Brad was pacing at the altar like he was about to have a breakdown. At one point, Sarah said they could hear Lisa shouting something about how none of this was supposed to happen, and I should have invited them, which I can only assume meant me and the other friends who were iced out. And then, because apparently this wedding wasn't dramatic enough, Brad decided to storm into the bridal suite to confront Lisa. Right in front of her mom, he started berating her for ruining their day. He accused her of caring more about her friend's drama than their marriage. And then, in what can only be described as the ultimate mic drop moment, Lisa's mom, sweet, soft-spoken Lisa's mom, turns to Brad and says, "Maybe if you weren't such a controlling ass, she wouldn't be in this mess." I am not kidding. Sarah was absolutely losing it over the phone. Brad's face apparently went white, and before anyone could process what had just happened, Lisa broke down completely. She ripped off her veil, threw it on the floor, and declared, "I can't do this." And that, dear Reddit, was the end of the wedding. Lisa left the venue in tears, her mom following close behind, while Brad was left standing there in stunned silence. Guests were left to awkwardly mingle around the reception area, and eventually, people started leaving. Sarah and a few other friends stuck around just to see what would happen next, but from what I've heard, there was no grand reconciliation. Lisa didn't come back. The wedding didn't happen. It was over before it even began. Now, here's where it gets really crazy. Sarah told me that after Lisa left, Brad tried to spin the whole situation by telling people that Lisa was emotionally unwell and that they'd be postponing the wedding until she was feeling better. But no one was buying it. It was pretty clear that the relationship had been unraveling for a while, and this was just the final straw. As for Lisa, I haven't heard from her since the meltdown. She's gone radio silent, which, honestly, is fine by me. I think she's got a lot of soul-searching to do, and I'm not sure where I fit into that picture anymore. So, there you have it. The wedding is off, friendships are in shambles, and I'm left here, 15 weeks pregnant, wondering how in the world my life turned into a soap opera. At this point, I'm just glad I didn't go to the wedding. Can you imagine being there for all of that? Yikes. I guess the moral of the story is, sometimes, when people show you who they really are, it's best to just believe them and walk away, no matter how many years you've spent by their side. It's sad, but I'm starting to accept that Lisa and I are on different paths now. And who knows, maybe one day she'll reach out and we'll talk. Or maybe this is the end of our story. But for now, I'm just going to focus on my baby, my husband, and my sanity.